Hello there, Ray here, and today I will be going over all the different types of free gifts that the villagers give out. If you guys have seen my snapshot review, you'll know that the villagers will drop free gifts to the player that have the hero effect. And today we'll be looking at all the different types of items that they will give for free, and also look into if each item has any good uses. We did figure this out during our Twitch stream where we check out the snapshots with the viewers. If you guys like to take part, there'll be more information in the description. A big thanks to Fax who went and looked in the code to see what all the guys supply. That really sped up the testing. Now after completing a raid, you will be given this effect, and this is Hero of the Village effect. The icon is an emerald with a red banner underneath, and by killing more raids you can increase this level. And with level 1, they're going to try to reduce their prices by 30%, so this is normally 10, you see they dropped it 30%, so now it's 7. Now there is currently a bug, so if you would close the menu and right click it again, it's going to apply it again, and then again, and you can see how this is most likely a bug because now I got all the way down to 1 emerald just by constantly right clicking. I only have level 1. So with like level 2, we'll go ahead and right click on this guy. You can see that it tried to drop it down more, but it wasn't enough to make a difference. So with level 3, you see now we got a 40% reduction here. So it seems like each additional level is like another 5%. And on items that are already pretty cheap, like ones that cost 1 emerald, you see there will be no change. So the items will never go down to like nothing. And they only change the emerald count, they don't change like the amount. So they're not like going to increase this just because you have a high hero effect. But the reduced prices sure make it worthwhile to go ahead and get the Hero of the Village effect and then do a whole bunch of trading while you have that effect applied. If you guys seen yesterday, I did come out with a video showing a new way to make villager breeders so you can get tons of villagers to do great trading with them. So let's look into what type of items each of these villagers give you. Now the way it works is that when you have this effect and you're standing near them, they'll just chuck their items out. And they don't always chuck them directly into your inventory, they might chuck them on the ground too. So you can actually farm these up just by having some hoppers pick them up, which I'll show you in a little bit. So the first guy here is the farmer, and I put all the items that they give in each of these chests here. So you can see that he'll either give you a slice of bread, some pumpkin pie, or a cookie. He'll just give you one of these items. And once they have thrown an item out, they will continue to throw more items out, but there is a delay. And they will only throw one item at a time, and they'll just choose between these 3 here. Now bread is pretty common, as even villagers can produce this and drop this for the players to automatically pick up. Pumpkin does take crafting, so that's pretty cool, and it can also do quite a bit inside of your compost piles. You can definitely turn around and take the pumpkins and apply them and get tons of bow meal out of them. No one really uses cookies, since now food items are able to stack past 1, but I guess if you want to kill off a bunch of parrots, you can always feed them cookies. Next up is the fisherman, and he will throw out either a cooked cod or cooked salmon. Now cooked cod as well as cooked salmon is pretty good food in early game. Especially the cooked salmon, a lot of people do actually eat that even in later game, but you can easily get these from like AFK fishing as well. Next is the shepherd here, and he will give you one of any type of the wool. There are 16 different colors of wool, and it can be any type of those. So this is a really cool way to get a lot of different variations of wool, but because it only throws one at a time, it's not going to be as efficient to try to farm the wool from these guys rather than making a sheep farm or like making a string farm with a dye farm. Next up is the Fletcher here, and he will drop you arrows. 66% of the time, those arrows will be normal arrows, and then the rest of the time, it's going to be a variation of some type of tipped arrow, and it'll be one of 13 different types of tip arrows. So let's go into my other testing world, I'll show you all the different variations. So I want to look exactly what type of arrows these guys could give, as they can give 13 different types of potion arrows. I didn't know exactly which variations. So I put a whole bunch of Fletchers in here, and I gave myself the hero effect for a long period of time at the highest level. And then I just put a bunch of hoppers down, and then I put them into this chest here, and it's been collecting all the different arrow types. As you can see, the majority of the time we do get normal arrows. We also get a wide variety of tipped arrows. So we get the leaping arrows for 22 seconds, the harming arrows, weakness for 11 seconds, water breathing for 22 seconds, visibility for 22, fire resistance for 22, regeneration for 5, strength for 22, poison for 5, night vision for 22, healing, slowness for 11, and the last one is kind of bizarre one, which is uncraftable tipped arrows. And that's pretty strange because these arrows used to be obtainable, but now they're not even in there. So if we go into the section here, you can see we got all the arrows, but there isn't any like strange ones. And even if we search for it, uncraft, there isn't any variety of those arrows, but they used to be there. And this might actually be a bug because this arrow type you normally can't get in survival. But if you've seen that video where we used that glitch to get arrows to remove their NBT tags, we were able to get uncraftable tipped arrows in survival by using this trick. And if you're curious, I'll link that video down in the description. You can apply it to a lot of other different things to remove their NBT tags. But in total, there is 13 different variations, and it doesn't seem that any of them overlap. So we can see that there's no duplicates, and we also got none that are enhanced to the next level. So they're all like the lowest level. So the one they offer is like slowness for 11 seconds, and if you extend it, that would be for 30 seconds. And if you enhanced it, it'd be like a slowness 4. But since the arrows are all free, it's really nice to get these arrows very easily. As typically you'd have to try to make the individual types of potions, then you have to add the dragon's breath to it, then you'd have to craft it into arrows, so it's a very tedious long process. Automatically is really nice. So in the past you might not have went ahead and crafted these up to use them, but if you got some for free, you might actually use them. And that really just increases the amount of stuff that we can get automatically. And I am comprising a list of all the different items that you can get in Minecraft automatically versus having to craft up. So I gotta say the Fletcher is pretty cool, giving such a wide variety of things to the player. And these arrows can be used in so many different ways if you really want them. Next up is the Cleric here, and he will offer you either redstone or lapis. Redstone is pretty easy to get from the witches, but lapis, you'd have to mine up lapis ore or trade for it. So it's really nice that these guys would give you lapis, as this can be used for dye or for enchanting, an enchanting table, or just for making lapis blocks. So I'm actually one that you might want to go ahead and try to get as much lapis out of these guys as possible. Next up here is the weaponsmith, and he'll offer 3 different types of weapons. So he'll offer a stone axe or a gold axe or a iron axe. These aren't very useful, they're not enchanted or anything, and they are pretty low tier. And most people don't use axe as a weapon, they would probably use a sword until they got high enough to actually get a decent sharpness axe. Next up here is the armorer, and he'll offer you a full set of chain armor, but he'll only drop you like one piece at a time, and it can be randomly between these, which is kind of cool for early game, but the stats on chain mail is not very good. Next up here is the toolsmith, and the toolsmith offers you these stone tools. Yeah, stone tools aren't very useful. Even in early game you can get them pretty quickly. You don't have to raid an entire village and beat the raid just to have a guy throw you some low grade stone tools. I feel like this guy should at least give you some iron tools and maybe some enchanted iron tools. Otherwise it's just not worth it at all. Next up is the librarian here, and you think the librarian will give you some decent stuff, but he'll just throw you a book every once in a while. So nothing too interesting from him. Next up is a cartographer, and what he'll offer you is paper or a map. And you can just take these empty maps and open them up, and then they'll just show you the terrain. They're not like pre-made maps or anything like that. Next up is a leather worker, and what he'll offer you is just a piece of leather. Leather is probably one of the easiest things to get in the game, as there's at least a half a dozen types of mobs that will drop some sort of leather. And it's kind of interesting because some of these guys don't even sell stuff. Like the leather guy doesn't sell you leather, he just buys it. And like the librarian, he buys book, he doesn't sell them, but they're still able to throw you books. You almost would think that these guys would give you an item that they actually sell, instead of some cases giving you ones that they buy. Next up here is the butcher, and what he offers is cooked variations of a wide range of food. So we got the cooked rabbit, the cooked chicken, the cooked pork chop, the cooked beef, as well as the cooked mutton. This is actually a pretty decent one because you definitely use a lot of food up in the game, and it doesn't really matter what type of food he gives you. Food's always something good to have when you're in survival. I definitely like the pork chop as well as the steak being like some of the highest tiered food you can get. Next up here is the Mason. And like I say, Mason probably gives one of the best items out of all of them. He will give you blocks of clay. This is huge, as blocks of clays are non-renewable resource, meaning that there's only a limited supply in the world. So like I say, this is probably one that I would definitely try to get a bunch of these guys up and try to have them throw me these free gifts and try to farm those guys up as much as possible while you have the hero effect. And it's also kind of painful to go ahead and collect clay in the world. It just forms little patches that are underneath of like the swamp. So besides them, there's other variations of villagers. So we got the unemployed villager here, and as you guys seen in the snapshot review video, those guys will give you some wheat seeds. When Fax looked into the code, it really easily showed all these guys gifts, but it didn't show this guy. So it must be like hard-coded into the game. And seeds is kind of appropriate, as these guys are unemployed, so they probably just go around and break some grass and hand you the seeds that they collect. Now the wandering trader, when you trade him with this effect, it doesn't apply to him at all. So you can see his prices are set. Unlike the villagers, the water trader won't vary his prices either. Now, if there is a green villager that's a nitwit, he will also give wheat seeds. But it seems that these guys are no longer in the game. So the only way you would probably get these is if you had like a village that spawned in one, because if you breed them up, what you'll get is these guys here without any profession. And then they'll get the profession from their workstations. So you can't get them from breeding, so you might have to just get them from village generation. Otherwise, you'd get them from like curing a zombie. I haven't personally seen any more nitwits since they changed this. If you guys see a nitwit in a naturally generated village, please tell me. And the last guy here is the baby, and as you guys see, these guys will throw you some poppies, which is kind of a cool way as like children will pick flowers and then give them to people to show appreciation. So that is all the gifts that the villagers will offer the player when they have the Hero of the Village effect. I'd love to hear what you guys' opinion is on the changes that they made here. I really think it's a cool thing that they added. And definitely look forward to me making some farms trying to farm up some of these materials. And you might be able to extend kind of the effect how long it lasts just by logging out. And that way like on a server their trades can refresh but you won't lose your hero effect. That way you could come in later on when their trades are open again and do more trading without losing all the effect. But overall, I really like how they add like small little mechanics that just add a little more spice to the game and gives us a little more to work with as technical players. It was a lot of fun going ahead and trying out all the different gifts during the Twitch stream we had. Big thanks to everyone who came by and helped me test it out, as well as massive thanks to Vax, who went ahead and looked in the code to supply us with all the different types of gifts that they give. If you guys did find this video interesting, I really appreciate it if you show it with a like and share it with someone else. And if you haven't already, go ahead and hit the subscribe button as well as the bell button for notifications. And tell me some of the uses that you might have for these items down in the comments. And I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye!